I say, you've become considerably stronger than you were in years past, Albie. You find ample opportunity to train on your journey with Letty?
Yes, and I do not intend to fall short of you.
Listen to that confidence. Then how about we bring this to Letty? I asked, if you and I were to have a match right now, who'd be the victor? Well?
I accept. A fine challenge. Your Highness, I ask for your fair judgment.
Very well, understood. In that case, Theo would yet win.
So you do not see me as having surpassed him. I find this regrettable.
I'm sure you have grown considerably stronger, Albie, but I cannot allow myself to lose to you just yet.
Theo, I beseech you. We must duel when we next have the time. I am not satisfied as is.
Then allow me to play judge on such the occasion. Cousin Theo, how your soldiers revere you.
Does it appear as such? I suppose I'm not thought of poorly.
I can clearly see that you care for your men. The trust they pay you in return speaks volumes.
That has seldom occurred to me. Then again, since I was a soldier, Father has often hammered it into me that I must do whatever it takes to take care of my subordinates.
Lord Uncle said that?
Surprised?
Oh, forgive me.
No need. It is surprising, I'm sure. Although I do enjoy a rather carefree existence in comparison to you, Letty.
To me?
Why, each and every citizen of Osarius is an underling of yours, are they not?
Are you suggesting I think myself above the citizenry?
Well, you stand above them, after all. To them, it is much so.
I see. Is it really?
Letty, what I am trying to impart is that you must take care of all your subjects properly. In return, they will honor you with their trust and loyalty.
How I hope that will be true. And what might you two be doing?
Letty, I was giving Ray a test of skills.
A test of skills? Either Albert or I could easily attest to Ray's prowess.
It was not as if I was doubting his abilities.
It was actually my idea. I was curious to see how I compare to the strength of a top knight in combat.
Yes, and instead of discussing the finer points with words, it is of course quicker to simply engage in a clash of arms.
I'm afraid that reasoning evades me.
Yeah, I guess it would. But hey, since we're on the topic, Laeticia, who could take who in a fight? Me or Theo?
I couldn't possibly decide an answer to such a sudden question.
Whatever comes to mind is fine. Surely your intuition tells you something.
Boys and their pride. Well, Cousin Theo, perhaps.
A fine choice.
Yeah, I should have known.
Even among all the knights of Osarius, Theo's abilities are a cut above.
Is that right? Well, I guess that means when I beat him, I'll become the kingdom's #1 swordsman.
I applaud your bravado, but I will not lose easily.
Shit, one more round.
Have at it.
Perhaps I should leave them to it.
Stop. Even if I were to accept your gesture, I would receive no boon from it.
Nevertheless, I cannot overlook how Father and the Court persecuted you and the Semiomancy Consortium, all for political purposes.
Did I not say I had no want for your apology, man? I have no intention to ask anything of you.
But, Maester Felgrade, What of your honor?
The same honor unites mouth from your grimmest visage, curled with your miserable stoicism? Think me in want of that. Go jump in a lake full-plated.
But...
Don't misunderstand me. There is no need for you to apologize. What did you possibly do to me 14 years ago to affect me? Jack all.
For one thing, I failed to stop my father.
You were a child then, a brat barely old enough to be Laeticia's senior. You were powerless then, and a fool now to think otherwise. Is your sense of repentance not yet sated?
No.
Then toil and sweat blood for the kingdom's future, so that such things will never occur again. And work together with Albert and that sneaky one eavesdropping over there.
Letty?
Let us elders fight among ourselves about the past. You'd all best think of the future. That is a responsibility only your generation can shoulder.
Yes.
I will give my everything for the future.
You young people today are too upstanding and dutiful. Did you inherit none of your father's shameless desires? You put me ill at ease.
Cousin Theo, why such a serious expression?
Pondering on this celestial ship, I was thinking of the differences between it and the ships I am accustomed to sailing on.
Meaning boats that travel by sea?
Yes. The conditions will differ, obviously. Space and sea are vastly different terrain, after all. But both are ships, in the end. I concluded they must share some common points to some degree. Although it is quite puzzling how celestial ships chart their course. We judge direction by the position of the stars. But these ships sail a sea of stars.
Yes, there are stars everywhere. Before us, behind us, and even below.
Very true. How could we possibly find our bearings? I was lost in admiration, knowing they can discern their desired direction amid this puzzle. And another point, boat propulsion requires wind and waves. Yet there are no waves to be found, nor is it apparent there is any wind here. Nevertheless, this ship moves on without fail.
Then, are you saying it must be propelled by a power that is beyond our understanding?
I feel we are cornered into no other conclusion. I should whittle them down with incessant pleas to steer this celestial ship for myself.
Perhaps I shall accompany you and learn the truth myself.
Well, where this world is concerned, I feel as if we could learn for a lifetime and still know naught. But as a sailor, I cannot simply let this mystery be. Before our journey ends, I must unravel some of this ship's secrets.
What, pray tell, are the both of you doing here?
Ah, Letty has graced us with her presence. Come, look at the scratches on this pillar.
Theo and I were observing this. How it brings me back.
Ah, these are height markings, yes? From when we used to compare our heights together when we were children.
Correct. How long ago was it? We three used to almost scrabble atop each other, scratching our heights, frantic to grow taller than the other.
It is hard and humbling to believe that we were all once so small.
But the markings seem to end rather abruptly. I wonder why we stopped.
Come now. Do you not recall?
Me? Your words seem to suggest it was somehow my doing?
It was, Your Highness. One day, you became frustrated by your lack of progress and declared it most unfair that Theo and I had been growing faster.
Oh, did I truly say such a thing?
You were but a child. It is most understandable.
Although it took us quite an effort to get you in good humor again.
Oh, even at such an age, I should have been ever so slightly more mature.
I heartedly agree. So, tell me, have you matured?
Well, Her Highness's strong spirit certainly endures. In a good way.
mind, both of you? Cousin Theo, what might you be doing here?
Letty! Nothing in particular.
Did something draw your attention? Is someone there, perhaps?
No, wait! There is no one!
Oh?
Just when this kingdom had finally settled down, here comes another commotion.
I hear that Princess Laeticia has been all over the country, putting an end to this mess. Oh, what a fine young woman she is.
But did you hear? There's rumors she's being accompanied by Commander Theo.
Oh, good heavens! Say it isn't so! He betrayed the king and Laeticia and sided with the Vale Empire.
He sure did. Oh, I just hope he's not thinking up another scheme at her expense.
I don't understand. Why has he been released in the first place? He betrayed the crown and disgraced the knights, didn't he? I've seen folks executed for less, you know?
Ain't that the truth? He's a scary one, that Theo.
I shall go explain what truly happened.
No, Letty, stop. I brought these circumstances upon myself, and so I must accept them.
Even so.
Let them say what they will. Those not present at that time cannot be expected to understand the truth of what happened. And what they are saying, their words are not mistaken.
Then you will forever be the subject of such gossip.
Any attempt to enlighten them about those events would only be met with deaf ears. At best, it would replace one rumor for another.
But then what of your reputation, Cousin Theo?
As long as we restore this kingdom's future, I could not care less what people think, especially if what they think happens to be the truth. Scrambling to protect my honor with favorable reports and half-truths would only complicate matters more. I say, let the truth be known.
Cousin Theo. Very well. At the very least, I will promise to hold your feelings in mind. Until the day comes when every citizen believes in you once again, I shall not forget.
Thank you. Your words alone are all I need.
Oh, hello, Laeticia.
What an unlikely pair you make, if I do say so myself.
No, not as unlikely as you think.
That is true. To our surprise, we have something in common.
Oh, really? What could that be?
How do I put this, Letty? Well, we both have illustrious relatives and are tied to the domain in which they excelled.
Illustrious relatives?
Yes, well, I have always stood in my father's shadow, and the same with Marielle and her heroic grandfather. Because a parent demonstrated prowess, we are burdened with unrealistic expectations, or treated as a means of connection.
Exactly right. And another thing, you also get blamed for things that aren't your fault.
So very true. And also, there are many in the Corps who desire anything that may belong to my father. They have some superstition that his triumphs as a general will bring them luck. I have received all manner of strange requests, such as a copy of a document with his signature on it.
Ah, you mean an autograph? Yes, I've had that too.
I could never refuse. At one point, I was even forced to bring home a stack of empty cards.
Oh? And how did that turn out?
Well, my grandfather enjoyed it, especially for the lady officers. He drew pictures and wrote with colored pens. My grandmother was too embarrassed to write almost anything, so she struggled with it.
I am.
Oh, you two seem to be enjoying yourselves, so I will let you be.
He's a knight.
What a strong and capable woman you have become.
Theo?
Apologies, merely airing my frank impressions. As a cousin, as a childhood friend, I am proud.
Praise too high, and it shall be nigh impossible for me to accept. What brought that on?
Well, I was struck by memories. I recall when you were but a small girl all those many years ago.
In my childhood?
No, not quite. I was referring to the Letty of yesteryear, still struggling with the onset of adulthood.
Since I was a child, you have always been present, ever capable and full of knowledge. As such, I came to rely on you, so much so that perhaps I matured bereft of self-confidence. Seeing my uselessness when relations with the Empire deteriorated, I felt despondent.
Thus you set out on the journey with Albie?
Yes, perhaps I felt I had something to prove. Even then, I felt painfully aware of my own inadequacies. But knowing it was something I chose of my own will, I forced my foot forward. And I encountered things I would never have seen if I remained in the palace.
To think the sea of stars would be one such thing. Who could have imagined that?
If, as you say, I have in fact become a strong and capable person, it is thanks to you, Albert, and Ray, and to countless others I have met on the course of my journey. Of that I am quite sure.
Being capable of spilling such words is proof enough of your growth and accomplishments.
Your praise of me is certainly incessant. What are you looking to say exactly?
Never you mind. I was merely convincing myself that I too must change, for I wish to remain one that you can look up to. The end of this conflict is approaching, most likely. Let us bear down just one last time.
Yes, indeed. Let us be off.
Well met, Letty. Care for a drink?
I have not yet reached the proper drinking age.
Oh, you don't say.
Would you please pull yourself
Why
together?
come to the tavern
You just
then?
proposed to me the other day.
Cousin Theo, do you still recall your first ever drink?
That I do. It was the day Father recognized me as an adult. I could hardly forget.
With Lord Uncle?
It was my birthday. We shared drinks long into the night. Father appeared to have been eagerly anticipating that day. As I remember, he looked particularly happy. He said, "I have long set aside a special brew just for this occasion." In truth, I was certainly too young to know the pleasures of drinking. And so I cannot really recall the flavor of that brew, which I suppose was something highly magnificent. However, I shall always remember Father's expression on that day.
To think that drinking can leave such deep and profound memories within oneself. When the time comes for my first drink, I think I too would like to share it with my father.
Yes, a very worthy choice. It will be good for you and your father to converse in private at times.
Father, do you think he would be pleased?
Oh, yes, I can assure you of that. Uncle has a sentimental soul. Most certainly, he has already prepared the rarest of spirits in advance for you. I do not doubt that its value may exceed all the drinks in this tavern combined.
I might be too nervous to drink such a thing.
And that may be a memory in itself,
Please pull yourself
much rather
together.
like I
You just
experienced.
proposed to me the other day.
Theo, are there any special tactics you use when coordinating your men?
No special tactics, you say? Wait, why do you ask me?
I heard you have had a long career and are idolized by your subordinates.
I see. Well, I cannot tell you if my experience in the Australian Navy applies to the logic of outer space. But in terms of what I think is important, one needs to display confidence, I imagine.
I see. I seem to lack that the most.
I as well. I don't necessarily have confidence per se. I merely put on appropriate airs.
Huh?
Should you lack confidence, Simply give off the appearance that you are strong and most assured. If you display a commanding presence, most things tend to fall into place.
It's just for appearance. Is that really good enough?
It is perfectly fine. We all have our share of self-doubt. The point is, you must never allow that display to crumble in front of your men. If an officer is insecure, that insecurity may well be passed on to their subordinates.
Ah, I see. I have definitely plagued my crew with uncertainty.
Worry not. I too made the same initial error. When you are young, no amount of swagger will make you look reliable. Of course, it is an absolute must that you combat your anxiety through full preparation and endeavor. But if you can at least act confident, eventually you will forget that it's an act. Thus, true confidence is born.
Ah, thank you. I think I understand a little more about what confidence really is.
Build confidence gradually, and strength will follow. That strength will then bestow yet more confidence upon you. Now then, go stand before Letty and show her how confident you are. Come now. It's times like these you need to show off your acting ability.
How could I possibly show acting ability so soon? I've only just learned this.
Cousin Theo, do not tease Mariel so. Please do not mind him one bit, Mariel.
I just don't have it.
Letty, hold on tight.
Cousin Theo!
That was unnerving. Here, I discovered a place where the flow is calmer. It is hardly a comfortable spot, though. Maintain a strong grip.
Yes.
Please forgive me. This appears to be the only place where we can shelter ourselves without worry. Damn it, isn't it just like the Scorpium? If this is what they call sharing knowledge, what a foul joke.
No, I have an idea as to why this location was chosen. This is where you marked your return, Cousin Theo.
Now, considering what happened then, I would ask you not recall that occasion so positively.
What others may think is irrelevant to me. Furthermore, whatever you're thinking of now also matters not. When you rushed out immediately prior to my execution, the face you wore was the same as in the past. The same kind face you always wore, while easing my fears when I have wept with worry. Whatever you may think now, it is what I felt there and then, that this place was chosen.
No, it is hardly as positive.
Cousin Theo.
Letty, it isn't. But, well, when Albie and Ray knocked some sense into me, forced me to shake off some of my convoluted thinking, the feeling that consumed me at that time was, yes, it was the same as during our childhood. Letty might be weeping, so I must go and do something. Even now I am compelled. Letty might be alone and scared. She might be crying somewhere, so I must go. I must protect her. For me, that's all that I needed. Letty,
Yes?
even after all this, may I serve as your knight once more.
You have been my knight since we were children, and so much more than that. So I ask that you stay by my side as ever you have. Tread this path alongside me.
Yes, this I swear. This I promise.
Let us be off, Cousin Theo.
Yes, and whatever madness you find yourself in, I shall see you safely out of it. Letty?
I stole ahead, expecting you here.
You certainly are full of surprises.
Theo, I worried you seemed unsettled by the new position you find yourself in.
Do you read minds now, too?
Care to share with me your reservations?
You will hear them then? Of course I was left unsettled. Me, Commander-in-Chief of the Trinational Naval Exercises. In what inconceivable world is this possible? Unthinkable.
Oh, now why might you think such?
How could I not?
Is it because you have been a traitor not only to the kingdom, but to the Empire and Mulkia as well?
Yes.
I grow tired of such talk, cousin, as do we all. If you ever wish to repent, you may start by seeing this position through.
Am I cut out for such?
You and you alone. Emperor Gerard, Mulkia, and myself chose you, well aware of who and what you are. We three determined that our trust would be better placed in no other.
I see. I understand.
I see no other path to redemption, cousin. Lend us your hand for the peace of both our kingdom and our world. So, allow me to confide in you, as in times of old, when the burden is too much for me to bear.
I suspect now I may be the one unable to bear it.
Theo, we have been over this.
No, I simply mean your royal position seems to foster a capacity of which I lack. But perhaps, at the very least, I might find in myself the confidence to serve the throne and its future queen.
Indeed.
Now then, if I might, the weight of the assignment still exhausts me. Might I slumber here?
You may, though do not be long.